So if you're anything like me, you kind of got bummed that Florida State had to go on a second COVID hiatus. So I decided to look back at the film of the Georgia Tech game, even though it wasn't the best game. Sometimes the losses are the most instructive things. So let's take a look at some of the key plays that I highlighted. Some things good, some things bad. All right. So in this first play, you can see that Balsa is being double teamed in the post, and I think Wilkes here tried to inbound it. They've been forcing this a lot this year, trying to inbound the ball when it's or trying to get the ball in the post when it's not open. Another thing I want to highlight here is they clearly weren't ready for this. Balsa's lagging behind, Raekwon Gray's lagging behind, and you have a 3-on-4 scenario. Georgia Tech did very well against Florida State, taking advantage of these transition opportunities. So in this play, I just wanted to highlight Raekwon Gray continuing to be a great ball handler, continuing to take the ball to the hole aggressively, authoritatively. He sees a smaller guard on him. There's no chance. So here, Balsa showing some good on offense, getting that good positioning. You can see right here, that's what a box out's supposed to look like. He's got his butt pressed against the defender. There's no chance that he gets this rebound. Balsa's done a lot better on these offensive rebounds this year, and it's one of the reasons he's actually one of our better offensive players, according to the stats. So this is just not the best man defense. It's hard to blame Scotty. He's not the only one that struggles with this. When you happen to have taller guys on these shorter, quicker guards, it's harder to defend, especially on these drives. Florida State, over the past few years, has had the biggest trouble with it. And right here, it's just that one extra half step he's got in front of Barnes that really does him in. And you hope that your help can come over, but they didn't. So here, Calhoun showing that he can also put the ball on the floor. I like that a lot. And there were a couple plays where Raekwon Evans is able to get a steal. He's handsy here, right? So he sees the drive, and he makes a good play. So on this play, again, I wanted to highlight that I think Raekwon Gray might be our best pick and roll ball handler. So this is a classic pick and roll, spread pick and roll. So you have guys spread across the line. He's about to head out here. So this guy's called a tag man on the defense, and so his job is to help off his man if the ball handler is able to get some room down the lane, and that's exactly what happens here. And see, he's stuck underneath the basket. Lots of room here. 3 guys on Raekwon Gray. There's going to be a guy open, and he takes advantage. It's a good pass. So I actually really like this play. So at this point in time, Florida State had gotten to an early lead, but Georgia Tech had come back and closed the gap. So this play is going to be kind of a modification of floppy. So floppy is this play where you have guys coming out on pin down screens on either side. So that's a pretty common college basketball action, but this is kind of a modification of it. You'll see Wyatt Wilkes comes off this pin down screen, but the play isn't for him. They're going to do what's called an elevator screen. So they're going to try to close the door like an elevator, and MJ Walker is going to bust through there. So it kind of looks like floppy, but you get that extra elevator screen. In my opinion, the best part of this play is how mad the Georgia Tech coach gets right here. So this is him. He's mad because it's arguable that this was a moving screen. They kind of, if you watch the guys closing the elevator here, they're probably a second late on doing it, half second late, and so he thinks it's a moving screen, which it might be. I just like the play. I like the fact that we're going to called plays when we need a little bit of momentum going. Here's another example of Raekwon Evans making a play on the ball. And here's an example of Georgia Tech tried to push the floor, but notice the difference between that play and the play we saw earlier. Now you got 5 people back on defense on their 3. This is a much better look. Florida State's playing much better defense in this situation, and it shows. All right, so I don't know who to attribute blame on this one. I don't know if it's a called help. He's seen Wyatt get beat one-on-one before, Malik Osborne, but he helps a little bit too long, and he lingers a little bit too long right here. I guess they're not necessarily worried about this man, Moses Wright, hitting this shot, but he's a pretty decent shooter, so I think it was just an interesting. I think they were just out of sorts a little bit on defense. Here's the same play. So on this play, so you can't really see it because ACC Network kind of cut it off, but see here, you have this extra man kind of helping on this ball screen. So you have this guy going over the ball screen, his man kind of playing drop coverage. So this is the center that's playing drop coverage. He's helping off of his man, which is his three-pointer, this guy on the three-point line. I think a couple things to keep aware of is, one, Raekwon Evans probably needs to see this guy helping off so aggressively and hit that pass. But also, I'd like to see a little bit better spacing. Notice they're kind of on this side of the floor already. So to have 2 guys here, that's not optimal spacing. They'd probably be better off if Calhoun was over here. It just gives more room for the pick and roll and makes it harder to help off like this. So that's just a little thing that can make a big difference. So on this play, I just kind of wanted to highlight just kind of some defensive problems. Florida State didn't seem to be getting into the right positions a lot of times, and Georgia Tech wanted to speed the game up, and Florida State let them. So here you have 2 guys on the ball handler for no reason. They just didn't pick up the right men after the break, so it leaves the guy open on the perimeter. And Georgia Tech started nailing shots in the second half. Okay, so I really like this play by Scotty. He gets the rebound. He pushes it down the court. This is something that we need to see more of him. I like it when he does that. Here's a little floppy action. So this gives me kind of a chance to talk about Georgia Tech's zone defense. So they play kind of a matchup 2-3 zone, and what I mean by 2-3 is that there's 2 guys up here and 3 guys kind of along the baseline. But what makes their defense different from a 2-3 you might play like in rec basketball is when there's a ball handler up top, the other guy drops down into what's typically a weak area in the 2-3 zone. So in this situation, you can kind of see that. And what I like is that they drew this play up to get some success. So you're going to get guys coming off these kind of floppy action, and then Raekwon Gray is going to settle in this zone. You can see that there's this weak spot right here, and Raekwon Gray is going to settle there. They hit this a couple of times to get some easy points, and I like Raekwon Gray with the ball in his hands. He's looked a lot better offensively this year. So this is just good offense by Georgia Tech. We double the post, which Moses Wright is probably their best player, so makes sense. Double the post, and they just hit a decently contested 3 behind our back. Here again, this I just wanted to show so it didn't feel like I was picking on Scotty earlier. Malik Osborne is just a step slow on this guard. This point guard is just a little bit too quick for him, and our help is just a step too slow. So this happens to be a weakness of putting giants on the court, is that there are sometimes mismatches both ways. Um, this is just good offense by Georgia Tech. I kind of wanted to cement it in your minds. This is the textbook way to try to beat Florida State's defense. So there's a little bit of dribble penetration, and you can see that Raekwon Gray does a good job of kind of getting in front of his man and stopping that penetration. And then MJ Walker's doing what he's supposed to do. He's helping a little bit late, but then he's going to recover back into this kind of deny stance. So that means he's kind of playing the gap between his man and the ball. And the Georgia Tech guy's just going to cut behind his back when he's recovering from the help. So this is just good offense. This is how you want to try to beat Florida State's defense. And Hamilton just kind of hopes that his big men can help guard the rim after that pass is made. Didn't happen this time. This is a great look by Scotty Barnes. This is the advantage of having a 6'9" point guard is after this pick and roll, no one covers the roller, and he makes a great pass over the top. That's just pretty basketball. Now here, I just really like that pass by Calhoun. Just cross court, keeping his eyes up on the transition opportunity. Makes a great pass, and Raekwon Gray finishes against a smaller defender again. So here, this kind of gives me another opportunity to talk about their zone defense. So you can see these two up top. One comes up to get the man. The other one comes down and kind of guards this soft area in the zone. So one of the best ways to beat zone defense is by passing the ball quickly. Notice how far up this guy has gotten. So that is one aspect of these kind of matchup 2-3 zones that people like to play. So these wing defenders have this whole area to defend. And so one way they're taught to help defend that is if they cheat up and out. He's probably not far enough out. He's supposed to take away this pass to the corner. Otherwise, there's no real good way to defend it. So he's up, and he's just trying to keep that pass from happening before his defense can recover. But Florida State does a good job of getting there and then passing it to the middle, and zone defenses just struggle against a lot of good, quick passing. So here's another example. Georgia Tech playing good offense. Calhoun gets kind of lost here. This is still his man. I don't know where he's looking right now, but just the fact that denial defense leads to backdoor cuts. So he's got that lane open. He hits it, and 2 more points for Georgia Tech when they need it. And we're back to the beginning. So I want to thank you guys for joining me. I'm sorry there's a little technical issues right there, but this was a good game to look at because it shows both the strengths and the weaknesses of this team. This team is not infallible, obviously, but they're one of the best in the nation when they can put it together. But just like most college basketball teams, they can lose to anybody on any given day. So thanks for joining me. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks.